forward to this one. I got Kit Hoover, former ESPN sports broadcaster, current host of Access Live Hollywood, journalism degree from North Carolina. We won't hold that against her. I know Coach Burton is probably watching. And her husband, Crowley Sullivan, is a huge MSU alum. And so happy Father's Day, Crowley. And we'll see if we can get her, see if we can find her in here. Hope you guys had a great Father's Day. I did, just chilling out, enjoying the day. Where's my girl? There she is, Kit Hoover. Access Hollywood, big time. Hollywood on. I mean, you're rolling.
Hi, Coach.
What's up?
Hang on, let me get this situated. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank
How
you very
did it go?
much.
What was your Father's Day today?
You know what? I'm here in sunny East Lansing. I was just chilling out, just kind of hanging at the house and just relaxing for the most of the day. That's pretty much what I did. I slept in a little bit.
How
What
late
about
does
y'all?
Coach sleep? Whoa. Give me Coach's routine. What time does Coach get up?
Well, I actually on the weekends I really don't have a routine. In the out of season, I did wake up about 4:30, but I went back to sleep. So I came upstairs, got on the couch, and went to sleep, and I woke back up. I was just kind of slumbering around today. But what about you guys?
How old are your boys?
Oh, Joe is 18, and Christian is 16. So, and they're the best. I mean, I absolutely love my boys. I mean, I can't even describe how special they are to me. And I tell you what, they've never given me any problems, either one of them. I mean, Joe graduated mid-year from high school. He graduated in December, so I think he's going to do a gap year. He's trying to decide,
Will he
what he
be a
wants to do.
Spartan?
Hopefully, I'm working on it. I
Or
got a
a
little
Badger?
time.
I love the Badgers. That's where our daughter's going.
Yeah, that's a great school. I don't think he'll be a Badger. I'm pulling for the Spartans, so we'll see. And then Christian is a sophomore at Lansing Catholic. He got about 3 weeks in before COVID-19 hit, and he's just, both of those kids they're the best. I mean, I love
Do
them
they
to
play
death.
football?
Christian does. Yeah, Joe was a soccer kid, and Christian he plays football. He's like a linebacker and a fullback, and he also plays lacrosse. He's a left-handed lacrosse goalie.
Oh, the goalie. Those goalies, Coach. There's the goalies. My dad was a goalie. Got recruited to play
Really?
all over. Oh, yeah. There's something a little. You got to be extra tough up here to be goalies.
It's crazy because you wonder, why would someone want to be a goalie? And I really didn't know much about lacrosse until he started to play. I got to know Jim Brown when I was coaching for the Cleveland Browns, and he would tell me about lacrosse and how great of a sport it was. And I realize that now, but as a parent of a goalie, I mean, you're going to get scored on. You know what I mean? So I kind of had to get used to that, because it's not like it's going to be a shutout.
No.
When you're playing, good, travel team competition, that type of deal. So
do your boys and your wife, they get nervous when you're on the sideline coaching? Do they get nervous for you?
yeah, do my boys get nervous for me?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think they might be used to it by now. We don't really talk about it that much. Sometimes they'll give me that look after the game, like you work 18 hours a day for that? Is that the best y'all can do out there?
Have we thought about your game day attire, Coach? Like, what are you going to wear on game day? Are we thinking sport coat, visor, sweatshirt?
What would y'all like to see?
Oh, we got to put it out there to the people and see what they're going to say. Whatever.
Yeah, I think you got to listen to the people. I wore some shorts last year in a couple of games, and that was pretty. I like that. I was pretty comfy. It felt good. Feel good, coach good type deal.
Let me ask you this too, because so I'm married a Spartan, which is why we're on this. I'm married to the biggest Spartan fan. I'm going to bring Crowley in here in a minute. He's watching. By the way, thank you, because it's the best Father's Day gift ever.
Yeah,
But
no
before I
problem.
agreed to marry him, Coach, because I married really well. He's the greatest. I had to sign a contract that I would bleed green and white, that I would love Michigan State, and I've fallen in love with it. What is the secret sauce that is Michigan State? Because there's something special there.
Well, you know what? I can tell you this. When I came here in 1997, first of all, I'm from Cleveland. I went to school in Wisconsin. I played for Barry Alvarez, and when I wanted to get into coaching, I called Nick Saban because he recruited me when I was in high school, and I wanted to coach. And Nick hired me here at Michigan State as a graduate assistant. And as soon as I stepped foot on campus, I remember my dad drove me up to meet Nick during the spring. I was going to report in the summer as a graduate assistant coach, and as soon as I stepped foot on this campus, I knew, I said, this is a different type of place. I mean, I had never, it's just a feeling. It's really hard to describe, but it's a family atmosphere on campus. Everyone was very welcoming. There was like a huge amount of diversity on campus.
Yeah.
I felt totally comfortable, and football and basketball were very, very important, like huge. And so at that point, I was hooked. I spent 97 and 98 here. And it's one of those, it really, if it hadn't been for Nick Saban and Michigan State, I don't know where I would be in terms of having a coaching career, because they really gave me my start.
I feel like you don't leave once you're in the family, Coach. We've got
Yeah.
you now, Coach Tucker. Now, even though I'm a Tar Heel,
I
I'm
know
born and bred a
that.
Tar Heel. I'm from
What's up
Atlanta,
with
but I'm a
that?
Tar Heel. But look what I mean. I'm relentless. I'm all
Oh,
in.
you got the relentless t-shirt.
I had to represent today.
Yeah,
Now I'm
you
going to
come
bring
loaded
my
for
husband
bear.
in. But Coach, I have to tell you, you can't have me follow up Magic Johnson. How great was that? Tell me about the meeting.
He's cool. Like, he's one of those guys that when you meet him, you talk to him, you feel like you've known him for 30 years.
Yeah.
That's how he made me feel. I talked to him on the phone a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be in town. I'm gonna stop by and check you out." And so he came by the house, and we just sat and chilled for about hour and a half, and he was we talked about a lot of different things, and he's a very, very down to earth guy.
Yeah.
Very easy to talk to. I mean, he's just a real guy. What you see is what you get. And I was fired up. My mother-in-law was probably, she was like in
Freaking out.
awe. She was in awe. Like, as soon as he left the house, I could see her out on the deck. She was on the phone.
He co-hosted with me a couple times on Access Hollywood. And Coach, I mean, he just lights up the studio, the court, anywhere he goes. And I love that Michigan State pride that he carries. We've seen him at several Final Four games or football games, wherever we are. So again, I love that passion right there. It's so good. Wait, now, is your dad still alive, Coach?
Yeah, I just got off the phone with him a little bit ago. He's in Cleveland with my mom.
And so
Yep.
what does he think about all your success? What would you attribute all this to?
My dad is, first of all, happy Father's Day to him.
Yeah.
He's probably not on Instagram, but my brother, he'll get him on it. But my dad is like my number one fan, like totally. Like, he is the nicest human being that on this earth, and he literally like coached me my entire life. He was my first coach. He's my little league baseball coach. And he just he he lives through me, I think.
Yeah.
He always wants to know kind of what's going on. He's real cool, and he is excited about Michigan State. Like, he told me today, he says, Rock, my nickname is Rock. He says, Rock, y'all gonna surprise some people this year.
What? Wait,
And
first of
that's
all,
what,
why Rock? What's the Rock
I
nickname?
don't
I
know
need
if
the
I can tell you. I
backstory.
don't know if I can tell you that.
Okay, that'll be off this. I'll
That'll be,
call you
yeah,
after.
yeah,
I'll
that'll
do
be
that when
after,
we have
yeah,
our dinner. You know
yeah,
what? I just love that. There's something. My dad was my coach, and I was a D1 athlete, and there's something about that support of your dad and everything they do and push you with that I feel so fortunate for you and me. Right? I think there's
yeah,
something. We hit the lottery with that. That's something you can't tell me. I'm so glad he's alive to see all your success and all
yeah.
your kids' success.
Yeah, he's a proud papa. There's no doubt about it. And you know how in the business you're in, the business I'm in, you gotta there's moments when you need advice.
Yeah.
You seek counsel with, and how many people can you really trust with how you really feel about certain
Hmm.
things. And my dad has always been like right there with me and supporting me and really giving me sound advice. My dad knows me better than anyone. I mean, my dad he can listen to my voice and tell kind of really what's going on. But speaking of dads, you said your dad was your first coach. Is this you?
Yes, that's my dad and me. Oh my God, you printed it out. I mean, look at that determination. I
You
mean, is
like you're
that hysterical?
competing. You have you got a tag like a number deal. Is that like what was that? Do you remember that? How old were you right there?
Yes, I think I was like 6 years old, and it was my first 10K race. So 6.2. And what I love about that picture is my dad didn't coddle. It was like, let's roll. Like, you got this. And it always pushed us to try harder. And his big
Yeah,
thing was, as long as you give it your best, you won. It's not really about winning. If you give it everything you've got, then that's all. And so I sort of do that with my life. And yeah, I got off the
yeah,
phone with him today, and he was so excited about this. And he's like, I don't have that channel. I'm like, Dad, forget it. I couldn't explain it. He's 86. I was like, we'll let that go.
Wow, that's incredible. Is that what you learned from your? I mean, like, what were some of the things that your dad, like, just growing up, some of the things that he really kind of hammered home with you? I don't have girls. I just got two boys.
Yeah.
I always wondered what it'd be like if I had a daughter and that type of deal. It's got to be a very special relationship.
You know what's great? I have an older brother who ran at University of Florida, so we both competed in college, and
Mm.
we're 13 months apart. But he's 6'3" and I'm 5 feet. Coach, wait till you meet me. I have a big head, so I look bigger on camera, but I'm sort of pint
Wow.
sized. I got to carry the head around. But he never treated me different in that respect. I remember we played every sport, so the grounder that he threw to my brother, he threw just as hard to me. And looking back, I just love that. Right? It was about
Yeah.
tackling life. He was big on treating everybody fair, giving everything you've got, humble and kind. He was saying before Tim McGraw sang about it. That was his big thing.
Yeah.
So work
That's
hard too. He's like, you know what? Best way to kill time to work it to death. And like, you can work harder than anybody else. That's what you can control.
I love that the work ethic. I can remember my dad, and I have a habit of this now. My dad he worked really hard. He was in the property management business, and he would always bring work home.
Yeah.
I would always see him come in, and he would have his briefcase. He have a stack of papers, and he would always bring work home. And it was just, how when you're a kid, you just pick up on things that your parents do, and you see them like every day, grinding it out, working hard. And then what they tell you, like, it's the gospel. Like, when your
Yeah.
dad or your mom tells you something, that's all you know.
Yeah.
And that hard work he really, like, has been a great role model for me. I'm sure your dad's been the same for you. So,
I love it. Okay, wait, Coach. He's entered the room. So you're about to meet your number one fan, Crowley. I win Wife
Crowley.
of the Year for the greatest Father's Day.
Crowley.
Coach, you win, actually. Coach, you win the best Father's Day ever done.
Bring him
This
in.
is,
Where is he?
here he is, Crowley
My
Sullivan.
man. What's
We
up?
win.
Coach,
Here, get the
wait,
stool.
first,
There we go.
Go
you got to
green,
see the
baby.
shirt.
Relentless.
We got Relentless for the whole family.
They've all got it.
Everybody's got it. I love it. Relentless, man. High velocity and nonstop. Get
Hey,
after it.
Coach, I was lucky enough to be on a Zoom with you a couple of weeks ago.
I remember, yes.
Yeah, and I told
Yes.
you, and it's good for all your followers to hear this, that our family phone text chain is now called the Mel Tucker Mafia.
So we've got 2 daughters and a son. So the whole family, they're watching right now, probably mortified that mom and dad are wearing matching t-shirts. But they love you. So they are in. You'll beat them all. So it's great.
I'm humbled by that. I really appreciate that. That is super cool.
I
I
can't wait
remember
to
that
meet
Zoom
your
call.
boys.
Oh, you'll love them. They're great kids, and I look forward to meeting you guys and meeting
Yeah.
the family and everybody. We'll get together, have a dinner or something.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. First of all, I have to give 2 props. First prop, that shirt is badass with the
This one
old
right here?
school. with the old school state script. Yeah, that's
I did a
like
couple did a couple push-ups before we came on just to
nice,
try to.
nice. It's so good. Second prop, Carrie. She is incredible.
You're Olivia Pope. Please tell her how much we love her.
I will. I'll do that. She does a great job.
Oh.
Yeah, one of the things that I said to Kit in preparation for this was
in preparation.
think about look at how detailed Carrie and Coach are in preparation for this chat. What must his detailed preparation be like
for recruiting?
For real stuff.
Well, no, I appreciate it. Preparation is, first of all, Carrie does a great job, and she's very detail oriented, and so am I, and that's why we get along. But to me, like one of my maybe a biggest fear, if you could say, is not being prepared. That's something that I just can't. That's something that you can control, and I'm really big on controlling what you can control. And so, like preparation, that's just being very intentional about what you're doing and setting time aside and time management and getting after it and making sure that you can hold up your end of the bargain. That's what it is. And I've always been in team sports, always. Yeah. And so, and in high school, I was a quarterback, and you never want to let anyone down. You want to be able to hold up your end of the bargain and get the job done. And so, to me, preparation is the key. If you're prepared, you got chance.
Yeah.
I've talked a lot with all of my pals who all, by the way, are watching.
Everybody's watching, Coach.
Sweet.
He's so excited. He woke up so early. I mean, he's all day long pacing, waiting for this. Like, this is huge. Thank you.
But I've talked with them for years about how, what do I know and what do we know necessarily about running a big-time college football program. But in my mind, one of the things that separates the good from the great is the preparation and the day-to-day attention to detail, because anybody can get up in front of a football team and give some rah-rah speech, but it takes a special kind of a person, and we all know that you're that kind of a person who pays enough attention to detail so that everybody throughout the entire program knows exactly what their roles are. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, well, I appreciate those kind words. I do believe in preparation and attention to detail, and that's the way I was brought up with my dad. My mom was an artist.
Cool.
And
what kind of an artist?
She paints. She paints, and she still paints to this day. And I remember watching her paint, and I think she would be done with the piece. And then next thing you know, I would see her go back and like do something else. And then maybe she would just paint it all over again and start all over, and it was like, and sometimes she would do like ink work with like an ink pen, like a little pen, and all the little detail. And I was fascinated by that. And she would just always, it was like really, she was always into that. And then when I went to Wisconsin, Barry Alvarez was the same way.
Yeah.
He was he was a Nebraska guy. He was a, Iowa guy. He was a Notre Dame. He'd come from Lou Holtz. And so everything was like, everything started on time. Everything, like, we were scared of the guy. So, I mean, like, we were scared to screw anything up, but it was detail. And then getting into coaching with Coach Saban, I mean, you're talking about detail. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole nother level of detail right there, and I worked for Nick 3 different places. I worked from here, LSU, and Alabama, and so, it's just something. I think it's a detail. It can become a habit.
Yes.
I think it becomes a lifestyle, actually.
And the fact that Coach Saban asked you to come back and work for him in 2 or 3 other places after Michigan State, to me, says all I ever need to know about your respect for attention to detail.
I like Saban's hair. He keeps that hair tight. The color's good.
Man, he's the man. Nick and I have a very different type of relationship. When the first time I met Nick was over the phone. I was in high school. I was a senior in high school. I came home from school one day. The phone rings. I pick it up and it says, "Yo, what's up, boy? This is Coach Saban from the Houston Oilers. Nick Saban from the Houston Oilers." I'm like, "Houston Oilers? I'm in high school, man. Like, what's up? Like, I'm decent, but I'm not that good." And he says, "I just got the head job at Toledo. I'm the head coach at Toledo now, where your dad played, where your dad was an All-American in 2 sports, and you're my top recruit in Cleveland." And that's how I got to know Nick, and so
in high school.
Wow.
yeah, that's how I know Nick like before he was Nick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I didn't go to Toledo, but he coached for the Browns. After that, he went to the Cleveland Browns with Belichick, and my dad lives in Cleveland. My dad stayed in touch with Nick, always writing him letters.
Smart and Nick.
Smart dad.
Right. He was right. He always like hey, Rock's doing this, Rock's doing that, and Nick.
Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got a little tattoo right there.
Yeah. Hey, wait, Coach.
Wait, let me ask one thing. Did you always know you wanted to coach as a player?
Oh,
like,
good
was
question.
that something when your dad talked about? Was that the plan?
No, I didn't know that until when I graduated from Wisconsin. I went to Canada, didn't work out. I go home and I started volunteering at my high school, and I volunteered. I coached football and I coached basketball on the voluntary basis, and I kind of fell in love with coaching at that point. I just really like working with the kids. I would show them something and then their eyes would light up. They would try it. It would work. They get better. They come back for more. It was one of those type of deals. And so that's really when I decided that I needed to coach. And my dad was my first coach and he was my best coach. He was my best coach. And I said, well, if I could be half the coach that my dad was to me, then that would be great. And that's really why I decided to get into coaching.
What a role model your dad's been for you.
We're gonna meet him, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like my dad. He's like the coolest guy. When I was in college, he would come up with his buddies sometimes, and they would hang out with us. And all the guys were always like, "Hey, is Big Mel? He's Mel Senior. Is Big Mel coming up this weekend? Is Big Mel coming up?
Hey, Coach, wait, I know we're talking Spartan, but our daughter's going to be a freshman at Wisconsin. We had dinner with Barry Alvarez. I heard we stole some players or some recruits.
I'm not allowed to talk about recruiting.
Oh, no recruiting.
What I told Kid about was I think it's Coach Pegler.
Pegler?
Oh yeah, not recruit. She's still a coach. We got a good coach.
William Pegler, and yeah, we got Coach Ted Gilmore.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, not players, coaches though. And I know you love Barry, so I love that.
Yeah, I love Barry. I mean, he's we used to think Barry was like in the mob or something. We thought he was like the Godfather. I mean, we were literally scared of the guy, and he's got Barry, he's got that persona,
We met him at a funny Italian place. He might be. I'm kidding.
He's Spanish, and he was. But he was Wisconsin. I'm born in Ohio, Madison, Wisconsin. Alum, head Chief Spartan right now. But Madison is a good school. It's a great. Yeah,
we respect your Badger history. Of course we do.
Hey,
Coach. One thing I wanted to ask. It would feel weird. It would feel weird if we didn't ask this.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm most proud of when it comes to Michigan State is the rich history of integration, dating all the way back to Duffy Doherty.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an argument to be made that Michigan State is the pioneer university and football program specifically.
Yeah.
The way Duffy led the whole idea of integrating black athletes into college football.
Yep.
What does it mean to you to now be the leader of a program that rightly deserves that position?
Yeah, it means a lot. I recognized that when I was here in '97.
Yeah.
Because that's what we talked about. That's what Nick talked about, and
the coaches that were here, and there was a lot of firsts,
Yeah.
at Michigan State, university president,
Yes.
black ADs, you
Right.
got black players, you got 20 black players on the team when that was like unheard of.
And a
The
lot of them first round picks.
first round picks, first black quarterback from the South to win a national championship,
Yes.
and Jimmy Ray and guys like that. And
Yes.
so, they taught us that when we were here, and that was a big very prideful about that, and very proud of that tradition. And actually, on our website, just recently, we rearranged some things. If you go to the Michigan State football website, you'll see like a Black Lives Matter photo that we took, and you'll see links, and it's got all the history of all of those
Oh, I
guys.
gotta check that out.
Yeah, you go to that, you can read up on all of them. There's videos, and there's like just really educating the players, educating our fans about that tradition. And I think in order to win big and have a championship program, you have to have two things. You have to have facilities, and you have to have tradition. And we've got both.
That's so great. Hey, so Coach, did you travel to Columbus in '98 with the team for that game?
I did.
What was that like for a guy? That was your second year.
Yeah,
as a coach.
I did.
To be there on what still remains one of the most historic days in Michigan State football history.
Yeah, that was a turning point for me as a coach. That's when the light bulb really went on.
Really?
For me, when I realized that coaching matters. Like, it matters who the coach is.
Yeah.
Because I can remember we weren't having a great season up until that point. That was kind of a tough year for us. The year before, I think we went to the Aloha Bowl, and we got beat by Washington, and then the next year was kind of rough. And so I remember going into, I'm a GA, and I'm in every staff meeting. I'm just sitting there listening, taking notes. And I can remember Coach Saban laying out that vision for that game, like that process. He's really process oriented.
Yeah.
And his theme for that game was, don't look at the scoreboard, just play the next play. Play the next play. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard says. The scoreboard should not dictate how you play. You're going to play every play, and every play has a history and a life of its own.
Yeah.
And he preset every day that week, building up to the game and installing the game plan, play the next play. So we go to Columbus. They're ranked number 1 in the nation, I believe. We go in, and what our belief factor is through the roof. We really feel like we can get it done. We have some really good players, and next thing you know, at halftime we're down. I think we're down a couple of scores. I don't remember.
Bill Berg threw a pick 6 in the third quarter, and the score then became 24-9 at Columbus.
You remember it didn't look too good, right?
Every game. Oh yeah, Coach.
It didn't look too good, but just imagine that halftime, that locker room at halftime, what Nick and all the coaches are saying. Hey, play the next play. We're going to win this game. We're going to come out. We're going to be aggressive on defense. We're going to throw the heck out of football on offense. We're going to knock the crap out of them on special teams, and we're just going to keep playing. And so if a guy does throw a pick 6, hey, play the next play.
Right.
And we did that. I can remember, like, down the stretch. I can remember, like, Coach Saban and like Dean Pease was our coordinator. And
right.
Nick,
I remember Coach Pease.
Yeah, there was like max blitz, like every play on defense.
It was
down
relentless.
The stretch. I mean, it was just
relentless.
relentless. It was just coming, man. The guys were coming, and I can remember pulling that. We pulled that off. Then and we win the game, and Nick runs across the field, and one of his great friends, Denny Frizzell, is running on the field with him and kisses him on the cheek, and after that game, I'm thinking, it matters, man. Like that was we have some really good players, but the philosophy and the process and sticking to the process and playing the next play, and that's been my philosophy, going forward. It's very process oriented, We're always going to play the next play. We're going to stay neutral. We're not going to get too high. We're not going to get too low. We're just going to keep on chopping.
I like that for life, right?
Yeah,
Play
yeah,
the next
totally.
play.
Yeah.
You got the bigger pick, but just play the next play. I'm going to say
Yeah.
that to the kids tonight at dinner, Coach.
Hey, Coach, so speaking of it matters who a coach is, that day you were on the field with Coach D.
That's right.
And
that's right. That's right.
This is another thing.
He's not a stalker. He's a passionate fan, Coach.
This is another thing that I've talked about with so many friends. Coach D, we all love him. I know you love him. I know you've had a great relationship with him.
Yep.
But even this, what we're doing right here, we're literally right now, there's a sense that you recognize the need for a whole new energy, a whole new approach. At the same time, I'm interested in, if you have had a chance, I know you've been busy coaching for the last however many years, have you been able to, were you able to sort of see what it was that Coach D did, and what are some of those things that you might apply to making the program a success?
Yeah, I always kept eye on Michigan State because it's where I started my career, and so I have a special place in my heart for the Spartans. And you know, I worked with Coach D, you know, really, you know, 2 years here and 3 years at Ohio State. We won a national championship there in 2002. We were together, and all of the coaches on the staff I knew. You know, Mike Tressel was my GA at Ohio State when I was a secondary coach. Jim Bowman, gave me my first Scotch whiskey. You know, taught me the Scotch. You know, all the Mark Staten was one of my GAs. Chuck Buller and I, you know, GA together here with Brian Polian and 97, 98. So I knew all those guys. You know, I knew all those guys.
Chuck Buller might have given you a can of Busch Light instead of Scotch whiskey.
I mean, all those guys. I know all those guys, so I follow them, and we actually played them. Well, as a matter of fact, when I lived in Jacksonville, my boys wanted to see Michigan State play, so they played Alabama in a bowl game, and they went down and saw them play in the bowl game. And then when I was in Bama in 15, we played Michigan State. They were in the Final Four, you know, and so I've always
followed. Game.
Yeah, we were there.
I mean, you know, Final Four. There's only 2 Big Ten teams that have been in the Final Four. You know, Michigan State's one of them, and so it's. I've always followed Michigan State and the job that he did and the tradition. And it's a great football school, and I mean, it's just it's important, you know. And again, we all know Michigan State is a very special place.
It really is.
I can't wait to get this thing rolling. You know what I mean?
Wait, and by the way, we live 3 miles from the Rose Bowl, so no pressure.
No pressure.
But we got a whole setup for you out here, Coach. We hosted a party. Crowley literally, even online, anybody that even just knew of Michigan State was invited to our party.
And they all came.
We threw a 3-day party. Our septic tank exploded. It was quite the thing, but it was worth it for the 100th Rose Bowl and, of course, a Michigan State victory. But wow, Coach. So we got to redo that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, there's Spartans everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there's everywhere. Everywhere you go, you see Spartans, and you know how it is. You go, you meet someone, and then they got a friend, they got their mom, their dad, they got a coworker, whatever's a Spartan, and they, you know, we have a huge following and very, very loyal, you know, committed, just diehard. You know,
and
go green, go
bandwagoners
white.
that are great. We love the bandwagoners.
Coach,
That's right.
Is your dad going to be at the first game against Northwestern?
If at all possible.
Yeah.
If at all possible, I would love to have him there.
Big Mel.
He's been at. I was an interim head coach in Jacksonville, so my first game there as a head coach, he was there. That was 2011, a year ago. The first game. I walked out of the tunnel, headed on to the field, and he was there with one of my younger brothers, and so
I get emotional. I love the father-son relationship. It is so special. Coach, we don't want to keep you too much. It's Father's Day. He's got to go back.
I have like 30 more questions.
I'm going to put this note. We got to let Rock go. He's got to go be with his family.
No, I appreciate it. I had a couple questions for you guys. What did you guys have anything special planned today? Like, did you guys do anything special, or what you guys do today?
Oh, well, we love to walk around the Rose Bowl. So we did that and our little workout. And then we're going to do a family dinner tonight. But this, you are the special.
was
This
the
is
highlight.
it.
This was
This is
the highlight,
the Father's
Coach.
Day, Coach.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Well, I mean, what? How'd you guys? How'd you guys hook up? I mean, you're a Tar Heel, but now you're like all in on Spartan. Like, how'd you make this happen, Crowley?
We
Like,
went through one of his
you outkicked
friends.
your coverage, obviously, but
You see that? I said that on my tweet.
And I'm just a big Guitar Heel fan. I got to be 50-50, but it's just, I've just fallen in love with Michigan State. One of his best friends was dating one of my college roommates from Chapel Hill. So we met, we've been together 25 years?
25
we met
years.
25 years ago at the best bar in Chicago called Sheffield's. Were we going to a Cubs game or were we just out back?
No, we were just there.
He didn't think I was cute, so I pumped him full of tequila, Coach, but I got him. I came over. I saw my victim and I went for it.
you should see his face right now. He's like,
And it's been great because then he went on to work at ESPN, and we've just sort of supported each other, and sort of similar to your career, sort of went where not luck, where preparation met opportunity, and kind of we've been jumping around and landed in California 10 years ago. So it's been great.
Yeah, we've just sort of gone from opportunity to opportunity, not all that dissimilar to you and your career with your wife and your family. And
yeah.
we had a great time in New York City and ESPN for 10 years.
Now he's running the UFC's network Fight Pass. I don't know if you like any of the UFC.
You like the UFC, Coach?
I do. As a matter of fact, there was a couple of weeks ago, they had the first live event.
Yep.
And I was, were you a part of that?
He's Dana's boy. He's
yeah.
Dana White's boy. So it's so funny.
Dana White is the absolute best. You would love Dana
He'll
White.
come to the facility.
This word right here is Dana White. That's
he don't play around.
No.
He is the best.
He really is.
We gotta get Dana White on campus here in East Lansing.
You know what we can do too is we can do if you're interested, I'll arrange for you to have him as a guest on one of your Tucker Talks.
Hey, I'm all in on that. That'd be huge. You know what I like about him? The guy is fearless.
Totally.
He's totally fearless, and it's almost like he saw something that no one else saw.
Yep.
You know, and he was all in, and he just kept going in a relentless manner. And look at it now. I mean, in the UFC stuff, I mean, that stuff is like, it's extremely exciting. I grew up with Wild Water Sports, watching boxing.
Oh, right.
That's how I grew up now. But now it's not really that now. It's UFC.
Yeah.
So, Coach, one of the things that is as important as anything else from my observations and my experience working for Dana is leadership.
Yeah.
So he's had this vision for 25 years. He's been relentless in seeing through that vision.
I'm the, what's her name? Dana White.
Dana White,
I don't even have one of those T-shirts. I got to get one of those myself.
The whole family's got them.
When coronavirus hit, and all of us were, everybody, when I say all of us, I mean everybody in the country, everybody in the world, there was such uncertainty. He called a meeting. The whole company meets in the cafeteria. And in that moment, the way he spoke to all of us, it was so inspiring because he was demonstrating such strong and courageous leadership in saying, I am going to lead you through this difficult time.
Yep.
And I know that you, as a football coach, have to deal with that same kind of thing. And that's
we
very
were
special.
talking about you with this.
Yes.
What you had to come under, starting as the new coach and then
What
Corona
a
hits,
challenge.
and what a challenge.
How have you sort of managed to navigate your way
We talk
around?
about you a lot, Coach. Don't freak out. All of our walks.
No, I appreciate it. You know, the first thing is, you know, I don't have to do it alone. I have a great staff. And that's the most important thing. When you take on a head coaching position, you've got to go out and find the best people to have on your staff, because it's a total team effort, and you got to have guys first of all, that are great character, you know, great family guys that care about kids, and guys that are loyal, you know, and that's what I have. And so when you have guys like that, and situations come up, whatever they are, you're going to get through them. You know, you're going to get through them because you got a plan, you have a process, you believe in what you're doing. And, you know, we started talking about not just getting through it, but we're going to grow through, not just go through it, we're going to grow through it. And I think that's a big part of the COVID-19 and, you know, kind of how things have changed and the new normal. You know, we're growing, we're finding out things about ourselves. We're finding out, you know, different ways to do things. What's really important, what's not important, you know, being more efficient. You know, it's not going to be the same when we come out of it. And so, you know, and it's an honor and a privilege for me to be able to lead, you know, our program through this very uncertain time. And we got great leadership in our administration. You know, Bill Beekman, Alan Haller, Jan Smith.
Alan Haller.
Man.
I mean, my buddies and I call him the silent assassin.
He is that. I nicknamed him the Truth. I call him Alan the Truth Haller. I mean, I tell you what, if he says he's going to do it, it's going to get done now. There's no doubt about it.
Coach, there's a video that, like, I think it might have been literally the first day you were at East Lansing. And it's a short, by the way, I don't know if Carrie has to do with this or the social media team, but there's a video that shows from behind you, walking through all the different areas, walking through the doors, ultimately walking into your very first meeting with the team. Do you know the video I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And there's a guy that sort of like pats you on the back, and I think it's Howard. And I get the chills when I watch it because that was your entrance, and you just hear you say, "Let's go," and the whole team just erupted. That moment must have been incredible for you.
It was. I feel so blessed to have this opportunity because I'm back home. This is home for me. When you know how it is when you start a career somewhere and people pour into you, like Nick and everyone on that staff poured into me then in 97 and 98 as a young kid. I didn't have anything really to offer Michigan State. I was just a young kid, just, you know, trying to get into coaching, grabbing coffee, shoveling driveways, you know, making copies, doing whatever I could do, you know, breaking down tape. But to be able to come back, you know, as the head coach at a place that means everything to me, and to walk in and you got the kids, you got the players waiting for you right there.
Yeah.
And to have guys like Alan and people like right there with me, like, okay, here, let's go. We're here. It's time to go. We're ready. We're rolling. We got the guy. To me, I mean, you know, I think about that. I think about that every single day. And I mean, it's very motivating, and it's something that drives me every single day.
Coach, I gotta tell you something too. I was texting with some of my pals there in East Lansing, and I said, he's not going to have a Michigan State tie.
Oh, yeah, this is
He doesn't have one. Somebody there has to go to the bookstore.
He sent you a tie.
And get a tie. And they responded, and they were like, great point. We're on it. So
I appreciate
those ties
that
they showed you?
Yep.
He was so excited. He wanted everything to go so great.
Hey, I appreciate that. They gave me a choice of two. They gave me a choice of two. I said, that's the one right there. That's the one that's going to kick this bad boy off.
You picked the right one, too, by the way. I like that one.
Thank you.
Now,
I owe you big time.
What do you do for fun? Because it's so much pressure. What do you? Yeah, are we binging anything fun? What are you watching? We just finished Game of Thrones. We're 5 years behind, but that's sort of us.
Yeah, well, pressure is a privilege, and so, you know, I kind of take it in stride.
Statement. Wow.
You know, if you're doing something significant, there's going to be a certain amount of pressure, and I consider that a privilege. When people care about what you're doing, you know, that's a good thing. But you know, I'm a really easygoing guy. I did get into Netflix a little bit during the COVID deal. I'm watching Money Heist right now.
Wait, we're starting tonight.
We're about to start it
with the subtitles. I heard you have to watch it with the subtitles.
It's good. It's good. And I hit a couple
Did you watch any of The Last Dance or any of those?
I watched all The Last Dance. I was mesmerized.
Yeah.
I was mesmerized, and it brought back memories.
Talk about relentless. Right?
Talking about relentless, and I mean, but just think about like those Piston teams, man, and
Oh,
just what you just forget kind of what Chicago had to do, what
oh
they had to
yeah.
go through, what Michael had to go through to get to that champ. They paid their dues and they got their butts kicked, a little bit. And so yeah, I watched all of that, and I kind of hang out. I watch birds in the backyard with my binoculars, and
Oh, that's awesome.
I got a couple cameras mounted on some trees that are kind of motion. So anything that moves in the backyard, it sends a picture to my phone. So I see deer. I got turkeys back there. I got all types of stuff.
Turkeys.
So, oh yeah,
So true.
yeah, yeah. We did a little night fishing the other night.
Oh, that's
being
awesome.
Christian. So I'm just a regular old guy. I mean, I happen to be able to coach a little ball, but other than that, I'm a pretty normal dude.
Did you have a special dinner tonight for Father's Day, or is it about
Oh
to
yeah,
happen?
I like a lamb chop.
Ooh.
I like a nice little lamb chop and asparagus, and the boys love lamb, so we had
That's so
that and just
Nice.
kind of chilled out. So it was a great it was a good day. I'm really laid back, easy going, and I really like spending time at the house here.
Hey,
Your
Coach.
twins, this one. I
So
want to go, go, go. He's just like, we can just have a brat in the backyard. Like, that's his
Yeah,
happy
yeah.
spot.
Get on the grill, get on the green egg, get on the
that's right.
Traeger.
I love it. Now, Coach, I don't know if you want to share this story or not, but on the Zoom,
Oh, he loves this one.
I asked you to talk a little bit about your thoughts about the school 60 miles away, and
Tell him what you call the school.
UMAA. The story you told, I've shared it with some of my buddies. You know the story I'm talking about?
Which one?
Don't put him on the spot.
When your first
Rock.
son was
Yeah,
born.
yeah. That's actually a true story.
I know it is.
That's a true story. I'm not going to tell it tonight again. That's for the Zoom. That's for the Zoom call. With the select deal right there. But
the answer was right. He loved it. By the way, his dad played basketball for Michigan, and then
okay.
his mom went to Michigan State. And so, yes, respect, but we love where your head is appropriately
no.
about the upcoming.
So maybe let's put that story aside. Can you talk a little bit, just generally, about the way you view that whole situation? Because it's undeniable that much of what led to Coach D's success was the day-to-day commitment to taking those guys head on.
Yeah, I can speak to that, and it's just a general philosophy. Like you can't downplay expectations. Okay, and so I believe that pressure is a privilege. And I read I saw an article today, and it said like the top 15 rivalries in college football. And Michigan State is one of them. And I went through the list, and I've coached in several of those. Georgia, Florida, Ohio State, Michigan State, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, Auburn. I've coached in all those. I've coached in Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Green Bay. So that's why we coach. That's why we play. And usually, and more often than not, you're defined as a player and as a coach and how you perform in those games. And so, that's what it's all about. And so, I get it. It's not just another game on the schedule. It's not. And you don't want it to be.
Look at, I love how
I just got chills. I'm ready to go.
The smile went away. Like he got that was intense Coach Rock right there.
Well, it is what it is, and it takes what it takes.
Yeah.
And rivalries are what makes sport great.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, there's rivalries, and you when you have those rivalries, you have to treat it special. You have to, and that's my approach, and that's what we're going to do.
I love Jordan if he would create them just to have something to go for. He would make up rivalries in his head.
Right.
And the player's like, I got no beef with you, or whatever it was. I love that.
Speaking of rivalry,
the great thing about this rivalry, I don't have to create it. It's right there.
Yeah. All right, peanut barrel or crunchies?
Now you're really putting them on the spot.
What's that?
Peanut Barrel or Crunchies in East Lansing?
I don't know yet.
Oh, you got
So tell him, where should he?
So you gotta go. They're two like
of the best
bar and grill places, and they're on Grand River.
So which one is the one? Which one is the?
You gotta go. You gotta try the Peanut Barrel.
Okay.
What'd you say, Coach? Sorry.
You start to break up on me a little bit. I couldn't hear you.
I know. Sorry, a call. I should have put do not disturb.
Oh, no, that's okay.
On one end,
I'll try them both.
Try them both. On one end of Grand River, like away from the Capitol, is Peanut Barrel. And there's peanuts on the floor, and it's just an old-fashioned, like almost like a saloon.
Sound like my type of spot.
Yes.
That's my type of spot. Yeah.
And Crunchies is on the other end of Grand River, and it's very similar.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, but I'll be interested.
Crunchies, just a name. Crunchies is like you gotta go. Like
where
are you going? We're going to Crunchies. Hey, I got one for you guys.
Yeah.
I got one for you guys, okay? Gruffy Spartan or the normal, like the Block S or the other normal Spartan. Like
great
everybody is on me about the Gruffy Spartan on the helmet. I'm flying a Gruffy flag on the front of my house right now. So where are you guys at on that?
You want? I have an answer. It's like a half hour long, but I'll shorten the answer. So I'm a traditional guy. However, when the uniforms can be changed in a way that the players love it, go for it. And
so give the kids what they want.
Yes, and wear polka dots if they want to wear polka dots. I want them to be green and white polka dots, but
whatever works, right?
Yeah, but I love the Gruffy Spartan because it goes way back, literally like not that exact version that like they use today, but the Gruffy Spartan does go all the way back to like the Biggie Mondays and stuff.
Yeah,
I say that all of them can coexist.
I agree with you. I think we can make them all work. We can make them all work. I know the fans on Twitter, they were all in on Gruffy.
Yeah, what should Coach wear on game day? He was saying he rocks some shorts.
Yeah, like what is your game day outfit?
He said he's up for it.
It depends on the weather. It depends on the weather, But I don't have an issue, throwing on a pair of shorts, maybe a pair of Jordans if I can get away with it.
What do you?
I'm not a big hat guy. I mean, if it's snowing or if it's raining, if it's pouring down, I'll throw a hat on. But other than that, you'll see the dome shining out there, and
I can't wait to see you run out leading the team. Oh,
how often do you shave your head? Every day?
Oh, pretty much every day, every other day. During COVID, you can get away with every other day, maybe every third day. You know what I mean?
Wait, Coach, before we let you go too, for our wedding, I wish we had a picture. They all wore Michigan State sport coats, Michigan State ties, and they all have shoes on their ankle. So our wedding party was full Michigan State. I'm gonna have to send Carrie a picture.
Yeah, you guys are all in. Send that picture so I can. I'm gonna find a way to use that somewhere because that's pretty cool. You're like absolutely all in.
I have a suggestion for in between the third and fourth quarter.
Oh my God, we buried the lead. Now our kids are making fun of us, Coach, but I'm telling you,
they love it. They think it's awesome.
Well, go ahead.
Kool and the Gang, Get Down on It.
You know the tune?
Kool and the Gang. Hey, cool. You know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a playlist of that era of Kool and the Gang.
It's so good.
I'm going to put it out. I've got a couple playlists out there on Spotify, whatever. I'm going to throw like some Kool and the Gang on there and some other deals, and we might float that out there because that is that would get me
But
hyped.
Coach, you know how Wisconsin has jump around? What if after the third quarter it was get down on it? So you got that. You come in.
It's way more of a groove.
Chill. It's a groove.
Yeah.
It's a groove, and then there's parts of the song
get your back up
when the whole crowd can sing along.
We think it could be big.
And it's not just for the students who run the show.
Right,
and they'll do the dancing, the clapping, but then everybody knows the song "Get Down on It," so everybody can chime in at the various points.
I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. Like I'm feeling that.
The tradition.
I'm visualizing that right now.
Right, and I think honestly we talked a lot about this. And if we just do it the whole season, see if it takes off. What a great tradition, and it's cooler. I mean, jump around's its own thing.
You can start making T-shirts with "Get Down on It," get your back up off the wall, and then also
get down on it.
The drummers in the corner there can do a whole drum thing to "Get Down on It." And I'm gonna we talked to Carrie. And we're gonna get together with her when she's like in Manhattan Beach or something. And I'm
Coach, I'm telling you, you know what I love too? It's
you guys are cracking me up.
You know what I mean? It's just cool. It goes with Michigan State. Cool.
I'm gonna take that into strong consideration.
Yeah, and you know who else? You know who else is gonna love it, Coach? The players on the side. They're gonna dig it. It's so cool.
And it's not trying.
But that's one of those songs when it comes on, you can't help but to move
immediately.
You can't help it.
Effortless, which is what Michigan State is.
Yeah,
it's cool. Not forced. It's not trying to be. It's just a cool. And I mean, who doesn't love cool in the game? All his idea, and I was like, you were on this. I forgot to bring it up.
Strong consideration. Strong consideration.
Nice.
Hey, Kit, I've got a fun question for you, Kit. If you can indulge me for 1 second, because I've done some research, and when I go online, like all these celebrities, like you've been around like all of them, right? And like these guys. So you're on a desert island.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a question. This is a hypothetical. You're on a desert island with Oprah, Ellen, Clooney, and LeBron. Okay. So you got Oprah, Ellen, Clooney, and LeBron. One has to find food. One has to build shelter. One has to provide entertainment. And one has to come up with a rescue plan. Who does what and why?
All right, let's break this down.
We'll do this to close this special Tucker Talks.
Father's Day edition. So great. Thanks again, Coach. Okay, let's break this down. I think you need to go Ellen for the entertainment. Right?
Okay.
She's been so great to me. And even any text or phone call, she's just funny. I mean, there's something, I think it's with the wideness of her eyes. She's so kind. Some of those eyes, she makes me laugh. So Ellen for the humor.
Yeah.
I think LeBron is going to get the plan to get us off that island. I think LeBron is
I'll follow LeBron's plan.
Yeah.
Clooney is going to be with the fine food. Remember he got hammered with the veto with the limoncello shot? I mean,
Did you say limoncello? Did you say limoncello?
Sideways. He'll have the limoncellos. You'll go deep with that.
I'm impressed that you're remembering each question.
And I forgot the third one, which was Oprah. I'm really good at memory stuff, but I forgot the fourth thing. So I got the funny, the food, and the plan.
Who's going to provide entertainment? Who's going to build shelter? Who's going to build the shelter?
I left that up to Oprah. However, her house in Montecito, if she learned anything from any of her spreads, Oprah can build the shelter right there.
Hey, I'm with you on that. Those are great answers. We got 1 minute before we're going to get cut off here. Okay. I just realized there's a time limit on this.
I didn't know either.
I didn't know either. Okay. One word. If there's one word you could leave with our world right now, because I usually do a word of the week, what would that one word be? We got 40 seconds.
Harmonious.
Harmonious. Wow.
What's
I like it.
30 seconds.
That's a tough word, and like I can't
28 seconds.
We're cutting off.
We're cutting off.
I mean,
my word to tonight would be preparation.
Look, when preparation meets opportunity, honey, you got 10
seconds.
seconds.
How about heritage?
5 heritage. I'll take it. Thanks for coming on.